Yo, what's up? What's up? What's up? Uh, you wanna jump right into the end of the day? So yesterday did not post, didn't have any Wi-Fi. Came back later today, but too late to have a productive day in terms of looking at the charts. So we'll just really get into a recap of the day and what transpired. But I did like analyze or just look over it, and really not much good or beneficial movement to me as of now. Just getting through, it didn't look like there was any opportunities. How's it there? So do a little rundown, starting with Euro JPY. Oof. Okay, Tuesday we had this almost an eyeballs if you would count this as a move down, right? If you would count that as a move down, there would have been eyeballs there and then eyeballs over here. Whether or not you count it as eyeballs, I think it's a little significant. And so you could say that the 4 is like turning bearish, right? Like it did there, it coming to the extreme, and then we have this 4-hour eyeballs, so we would expect for it to keep selling, right? M15 is showing us a similar sign. We had a bounce here on Tuesday, pullback, right? I was pullback, and we came into this almost a flip of the 4-hour, right? But it is a zone either way. Then coming into today, London pushed up. No really good opportunity for buyers in there. We came down, but we didn't come into. Firstly, we would have had that as a zone right there. And then there's probably news here looking at how big these candles wicks are. It lasts right through, doesn't come anywhere near there on the M15, and then pushes higher. We get an eyeballs in there, and then it's been range bound ever since. So no trade anywhere in there. Expectations are if we do get an eyeballs here, I'll probably expect this to now keep selling, and then we would just look for sells at that point, looking to break the swing low. But obviously as we get closer to the swing low, we would want to be more cautious with the sells, even though we're not looking for buys. We just want to see the break of this as confirmation before continuing to sell. And then Euro USD, USD, we had an eyeballs up, right? So the internal is bullish, but we do have a chalk right there, down, goes up, chalks down, chalks up. So this bullish momentum coming in, right, after mitigating this entire range over here. Even though I don't look at ranges most of the time, I do like the pivot like this one, but it doesn't come in there. It comes into the range and then pushes up with heavy momentum, aided by whatever event this was. I'm not really sure what that was, but anyway, there was a news event in there, so obviously wouldn't have traded that anyway. Too volatile. But in terms of the M15-minute coming into London, you had this price action in there. Obviously wouldn't have been happy with that. Then you get the event, pushes up higher, you have your eyeballs, and then now is to continue looking for the buys. Even though the pullback is not the deepest of pullbacks, so we did not touch the 4 hour. The 4 hour just looks like it has enough momentum to just keep pulling out that. So tomorrow we would be looking for buys in here, maybe from this flip right there or within the flip, but it's kind of huge, so obviously we wait for a little bit more, like a chalk within there should help. Maybe we'll see how it acts tomorrow. And you'll also have this pivot over here, pivot right there as well. We'll see how it ends up looking tomorrow. And then GU, a little bit more interesting, I'd say, than Euro USD, because we had the eyeballs there, and then this flip zone right here held, right, heavy bullish momentum, gets a chalk right there. So obviously I'd say at this point buys are looking particularly good, but as I said with Euro JPY, because we are within or near the swing high, I wouldn't be looking for buys to break the swing high, right? Makes them a little bit lower probability, but after we break and confirm, then maybe it can look to be aggressive, right? Follow the POIs in there, going up, not down, going up like this, right? Just try and follow it closely going up. But in terms of the PA from today, coming into London, you would have had it coming to the 4 hour, and then you would have got the eyeballs after or during the event, so obviously you wouldn't have anything to follow in there, and yeah, pretty much just kept pushing up after that. So no really good opportunities for entries anywhere near there. And then finally you have USD CAD. What do we have? We had a box there that came into the extreme, now it's pushing up, so obviously you'd expect this weak swing high to go at some point, but following the internal, we have swept this low here that created the eyeballs. But now question is, will we see it coming to this pivot of the internal low, right? As we did have a 15-minute boss there, but remember that the boss could happen to facilitate the pullback right into here, and then maybe we get something, whatever, just and then start pushing up, right? So in terms of the price action for today, would have come into Frankfurt, London over here somewhere, pushes higher, comes down in there. Would you have looked for continuation within this POI here? Let's check on the M5. Do we have a strong liquidation within there? Technically you do have, because the pullback starts up here, then you have the eyeballs there, then you have the mitigation right there, which means you have had that, a little bit of an SR right there, and then targeting 3.3. You wouldn't have gotten the 3.3, you'd have gotten the end entry, but by the time, okay, but now anyway, this is like what, 1, this happened at 1, so remember we don't trade between 1 and 3. That's when the London low is, low volatility. So that I think that would have been the only reason not to take this trade, was because it is out of session. And with trades that are out of session, I wouldn't take them unless they're like in like good areas. Like for example, if we had, let's say, this POI over here, right down here, if we had like the market breakout right there, and then from here we come into this POI, right there we have a M15 chalk, and then a pullback in there, and then the time was like 1 o'clock, between 1 and 3, which is like the session low. This makes more sense to trade than this, where you're trying to play a phase 2A continuation, right, like aggressive continuations higher, but in the session low it doesn't make sense. So this wouldn't have been a valid trade just because it was in the session low and it is like a aggressive continuation. But if you had like a trade like this, outside of a session low, or not outside but like inside a session low, I'd probably risk it on this one. Like unlike this one, I'd probably risk it on this one. Be willing to take the risk with something like that. And yeah, I think the price action is getting a bit better. We should have a bit more opportunities in the future, but we'll still be patient and see